Hey folks, so I just got back home from my first and probably only G-Fest movie screening that I'm going to this year. Just this year's lineup has been not so great, and so this was the only feature that I was really felt like, yeah, I gotta go to that if I have the time. And I had the time, so I just had to go. And it was the Thursday afternoon double feature of The Valley of Gwangi and Dinosaurus. Valley of Gwangi I had seen before, Dinosaurus I had not. Valley of Gwangi I had seen many, many years ago. I was very young, and it very much bored me. I'm sorry to say to all the Harryhausen fans out there, but I just, as a kid, I was just like, when's the dinosaur gonna show up? And I didn't care about any of the people, so it was just like, oh, and then even, the effects, they still hold up, and they're still very nice to look at, but I feel like it's not some of Harryhausen's best work, and narratively, it's very much a retread of King Kong, as has been pointed out, like, time and time again. Everyone says Valley of Gwangi is basically King Kong, because it is. I was trying to hold up so you could see the Godzilla I have in the background, but my arm's getting tired, so I'm just gonna kind of rest it down here, so you can see my lovely face. Oh, and there's Godzilla. That works. Anyway, Valley of Gwangi, it's very much King Kong, but not as good. This is a problem with wearing glasses and recording video of yourself. I keep getting distracted. Alright, so I just had to delete a bunch of stuff on my phone because there was no more room to record video. Anyway, the problem with the Valley of Gwangi is that you have these characters in place in this setting for a narrative that has so much potential to have really interesting ideas at play about colonialism, the exploitation of nature, race relations, because, almost even more explicitly than the original King Kong. Because, King Kong obviously was made at a time when that stuff was still very heavily going on. The U.S. was very heavily doing those things. So it was a lot more subtle about it, a lot more sly, and a lot more kind of unintentional. But this is the 60s. This is 1963. So I don't think it's unreasonable to say that filmmakers were aware of that at that time, of those things. But it's still framed, the characters in the movie are still framed like they would be in 1933. And it winds up just having a very kind of generic greed, don't be greedy sort of message at the heart of it. And its characters are not particularly compelling. The actors are charismatic, but they're not written in a way that is likable. They're not likable as people, nor are they written in a way that is critical of their character flaws in a way that so that they can be compelling on that level. So really all you're left with is this very handsome looking movie with these excellent stop motion effects, and a pretty solid sense of style, visual style, that doesn't have a whole lot to say, even though you can clearly see where it could have a lot to say. So that's my issue with that movie. It was still entertaining, and Harryhausen's effects, I mean, I've said it like 5 times already, but they are still incredible. But yeah, solid. Definitely, if you like Harryhausen and you haven't seen it, it's worth watching, but don't expect a whole lot beneath the surface. Dinosaurus is a very different animal. Dinosaurus is a very weird movie, a very goofy movie. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what the plot was. I didn't know who was in it. I didn't know who the effects people were. I just knew it was, from that same time as Valley of Gwangi. And actually, I didn't know that. I looked it up afterwards and saw it was 1960. I thought, for some reason, it was 70s. But it was 1960. I knew that it had something of a reputation among old-school dinosaur movie fans. And I knew that John Landis was a big fan of it. And I can see why, because it is actually really, really funny. And not just unintentionally. Although there are plenty of unintentional laughs, for the most part, there's also just a lot of really good comedy in the movie. The plot concerns these construction workers, basically, who happen upon a perfectly preserved Tyrannosaurus and Brontosaurus, and shit goes wrong, and they're trapped in an island with these dinosaurs, and also a caveman who was down there as well, for reasons. It's complicated. But the dinosaurs are funny in that they're not Harryhausen level stop motion. They are stop motion, but they are very herky-jerky, like less than bottom of the barrel Rankin Bass Christmas special stop motion. But they're entertaining. And the caveman is hilarious. The guy's name, I looked it up, his name is Glenn Martell. I don't know if he's done anything else ever, but that dude's got presence, and he's got comedic timing, and all his scenes are golden. Like, seriously, I can, like, that right there, all his scenes are like, okay, that's why John Landis loves this movie. That is so his sense of humor. And it's really entertaining. The whole movie is incredibly entertaining. I would say much more so than Gwangi. Don't tell the Harryhausen fans I said that. But it is. Like, Valley of Gwangi is very slow in plotting, and doesn't really pick up until the dinosaurs show up, and even then it gets a little in parts. Dinosaurus moves, and it is so ridiculous. It is never boring. Never. But yeah. Those are just some quick and dirty thoughts on G-Fest movies. Neither of them were great movies, but I had a blast watching them, and I'm very glad I went. And I highly recommend them if you like old school goofy dinosaur movies, especially Dinosaurus. If you like goofy sci-fi monster dinosaur movies from that era, and you have not seen Dinosaurus, which like me, track down a copy and watch it. You will not regret it at all. But yeah, Gwangi's interesting too, but, just don't expect it to be, thrill a minute. Yeah. I probably won't go see any of the other movies. I might go see Rampage tomorrow night, because I did like Rampage a lot. I wouldn't mind seeing the theater again, but if I can't get anyone to go with me, then I won't bother. And yeah, I'm just going to chill out. I'm going to eat dinner, and I'm going to get ready for the actual convention tomorrow. Smell you later.